Single beds, standard desks, tiny closets, and a room much too small. These are the staples of college dorm life. Now imagine this: living, sleeping, dressing, and even undressing in this same small space with a member of the opposite sex. With over 55 schools in the country now implementing gender-neutral housing, and Ohio University soon to become the next, living arrangements are becoming more accommodating to all types of needs.
It is new, but it's not new. It's something that's been coming up in residential housing departments all over the country, and um, we basically have to focus on making living environments safest and most comfortable for all students.
Openly gay freshman Lindsay Cohen explains why she chose to live in a single dorm.
I came to college with the idea of just being out in general, and I was really scared about having to come out to a roommate.
Although many believe there will be abuse of the system by heterosexual couples, Judy Piercy of Residential Housing offers realistic perspective on the issue.
What happens if this couple breaks up and the impact of that? And I don't see that actually being any more difficult than when roommates aren't getting along. I mean, we deal with roommate mediations almost every day on campus and conflict, and we're equipped to handle that.
In a survey conducted by Student Senate of approximately 1,200 students, 87.2% stated that they were in favor of gender-neutral housing, with 79% of that population identifying themselves as straight. For the LGBT community, gender-neutral housing is a huge step to alleviate many common fears.
Friends that have felt uncomfortable because they've had to come out to their roommate, and their roommate hasn't taken it well, and I know cases where roommates have actually moved out because they weren't comfortable living with somebody who identified as LGBT.
My neighbor actually was gay and her roommate was not okay with it. It's really difficult for them to have to come out just because they live with somebody.
Even people down the hall from me are uncomfortable with me being even on the same floor as them, so I'm glad that I'm not faced with the situation of having to share living space with someone who is not okay with me being gay.
Whenever you're working in that arena, you start thinking of, okay, we've accomplished this. Where do we go next? And this issue of gender-neutral housing, while it can be controversial, is where I think we need to go next.
I know personally I am in a single, and I would have loved to have a roommate and love to have a little less money on my tuition, but I didn't want to have to deal with an uncomfortable situation because, and I'm very glad that I did get the single, although it would be a lot of fun to have a roommate.
For these students and others to come, Ohio University has proposed a pilot program for next fall on both South and East Green. Reporting from West Green in Athens, Ohio, I'm Brooke Bunce.